Nathan from Nathan's DIY Garage. I thought we'd do a review today on gasket sealer, on how to apply it, and what sealer to use. Okay, so here's the gasket sealers I like to use. This Ultra Gray, you can buy this at O'Reilly's, AutoZone, places like that. This is the gray for the import vehicles. It's a little bit thinner. It seems to do a lot better job. The Ultra Black, this stuff, you could use it when you need something thicker. I don't like using this too much. This is kind of a mess. If you ever have to take it back off, you pretty much can't get it back off easily. You're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of hassle trying to remove it. And I also don't have any of this stuff here. The THREEBOND, made by Yamaha and Honda. Under those names, it's Yamabond and Honda Bond. Toyota also makes it. It's a gray kind of material, somewhat like this, but it's really thin. It works really good. It is also very hard to find, very hard to get. That's my favorite. I don't use that a lot for the obvious reasons. I use so much sealer these days that stuff's $12 to $15 a tube. This is less than half the price, sometimes even a quarter of the price. So I've had a recent conversation with a few of my friends on Facebook that work at dealerships about plastic valve covers. Whether it's BMW or whatever brand it is, a lot of the manufacturers say to only put a dot of the sealer along the edges of the cams where the cams go, and do not seal the whole valve cover. Well, what I've been finding out lately, if you do that, it leaks everywhere. And the reason for that is, on a plastic valve cover, once it's been heat cycled a bunch of times, it gets kind of a warp to it. And so what the factory said was okay in the beginning is not going to be okay anymore. If you don't seal the whole gasket, especially for you M54 guys, M52 guys, that have the plastic valve covers that are a very big valve cover, that is always going to seep or drip, or you're going to have the oily smell when you come to a stoplight. So let's talk about application on these. A lot of people are very misguided. I've been to a dealership before and watched them put this on the complete wrong way. So a lot of guys are going to tell you don't use gasket sealer. I've taken stuff apart. There was none on the thermostat. There was none on the intake gaskets. Now, if your thermostat or intake gasket is a rubber O-ring, that may be fine. If it is a paper gasket, you have to use gasket sealer. There is no way around it. Especially on your oil pans. A lot of guys will buy a real expensive oil pan seal and think they don't have to use it. That thing will seep and leak and drip, all kinds of nasty stuff. So there's two different ways to put this on. One way is to take the bottle or the tube and squirt it on there until a big mound of it's on. And you squish it on there, stuff squishing out the sides, and it's a freaking mess. I've actually watched people at the St. Louis BMW dealership do that before. Now, I'm not even kidding you. So this is what I do. I don't know if this is what you're going to think is the right way. I do this every day. As far as I'm concerned, this is the right way, and it's the only way. You're going to take the tube. You're going to squirt some on your finger. Usually I'll have gloves on, but go like this. And you're going to wipe it on here. Just a thin layer. And this is just a test gasket. This is actually a fuel pump gasket, which you ordinarily would not use this on. And you're going to wipe it on there like that. Let me get a towel to put this on. You're going to go around like this. So what you're going to go for is complete coverage, but you don't want anything getting out of control. So wipe that off. So what you're going to end up with is just a thin layer on the gasket, and you can see as I turn it in the light. And it's not globbed up, so you can see right there. just super thin. So I don't let this stuff dry. I put it on like this. That way when you tighten it down, it has a little bit of squish. If there's any imperfections in whatever you're going to put it on, it'll fill those up when you tighten it down. Now I don't torque it down real super tight right away. I'll snug it up, let it sit for a little while, come back. By a little while, I mean 30 minutes. Just as it's barely starting to firm up, and I'll come back and torque it down where it's supposed to be. I don't have any problems like that. If you squish it on with the tube in a big mound, and a lot of guys will put it on, let's see if I can just do a demo. They'll put it on like this. Let's do a little bit of it. And you can see, I mean, that's the normal way people put this stuff on. If you do that, it's going to squish out. If you have a car that has a thermostat that's kind of sensitive, that has any kind of small anything, I mean, anything newer has the lifters, you can stop those up with this stuff, many other things. So the biggest thing is don't mount it up like that. And that's what I see the most common. And this stuff will be squished out all around there. It'll be squished out 1/4 inch or more and just blobbed over everything. Another thing too is they sell this stuff in the blue. Supposedly it's for water. Don't buy that crap. Don't ever use that. That is just barely any more than bathtub caulk, and that does not work. What you're gonna have if you use that on water, you're gonna have leaks. If you use it on oil, you're really going to have leaks. That stuff does not do well with oil. So that's pretty much all for today. I just want to clear that up with a few people. It seems like this is an ongoing daily problem. A lot of the stuff I take apart has RGB black. Even worse, it has the high temp, the orange stuff. You don't need to buy that. The motor doesn't get that hot. That's for using on exhaust pieces. That doesn't really work on exhaust pieces. So if you're just going to O'Reilly's or AutoZone, if you could all get it, get the import, the ultra gray and the ultra black. And if you can, get the Yamaha Bond or Honda Bond is always the best. You could buy that at the Honda or Yamaha dealership, or even at the Toyota dealership. I don't know how much they charge. I usually get it off eBay. Okay everyone, that's all for today. If you liked the video, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Nathan's DIY Garage. Don't forget to subscribe. That's all. Thank you.